Hello, I'm Betty Redmon, retired from the University of Southern California. I wish all of you could have known Paul Hadley, Emeritus Professor and former Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs at USC. I first met Paul when I interviewed to succeed him in 2000 as Executive Director of the USC Emeriti Center. Paul was such a kind and gentle man with a personality that made people want to associate with him. His concept for a national organization, his willingness to put in the effort to make it happen, and a well-established informal collaboration with university retiree groups led to an organizational meeting in 2001 to form a national, soon to become binational, organization, and the name Association of Retirement Organizations in Higher Education was adopted. You know, of particular note is the inclusive phrase retiree organizations. There's really no definition for, it was already obvious that there was no one model. We had representatives from associations or societies and or institutional units such as emeriti or retirement centers, each in some way serving retired faculty, staff, and or surviving spouses. And these academic units, they varied in autonomy and structure, with some organized under the auspices of academic affairs, others under human resources, and even others under development. It was decided that all models would be welcome, for our founding leaders recognized the value of diversity. And our name, the Association of Retirement Organizations in Higher Education, doesn't exactly roll off your tongue. So it automatically became AROHE, at least to those of us on the West Coast. Our East Coast colleagues, however, pronounced it with a more refined tone, ARO, suggesting that AROHE sounded like someone was gagging. That be as it may, AROHE seems to have stuck. Following the organizational meeting, Paul Hadley began the legal process of establishing AROHE as a California 501c3 nonprofit corporation. The USC Emeriti Center, with its existing staff and space, became, and still is, AROHE's corporate office. As executive director of the Emeriti Center from the fall of 2000 to 2005, I became, by default, the same for AROHE. My jobs for AROHE were to organize and oversee a functional corporate office, but more importantly, to finalize AROHE's legal status by writing bylaws, procuring tax-exempt status and insurance, writing resolutions and gaining board approval for operating procedures and policies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In 2005, I retired from USC, and Dr. Jeanette Brown brilliantly succeeded me as executive director of both the USC Emeriti Center and AROHE. She's been a major force in making AROHE what it is today. The best part of being involved in AROHE is the friendships that I made with colleagues from other universities, particularly Shelley Glazer from UC Berkeley and Eddie Murphy from USC's crosstown rival, UCLA, a rivalry we ignored except for one weekend a year when USC played UCLA in football. Looking back at old records, I found this note to myself on a list of 17 pending resolutions before the board. Quote, "A successful person is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks that others throw at him or her." David Brinkley. I'm pleased to see AROHE thriving today and to have had a small part in laying its foundation. Happy anniversary.